Hi, these comments are for SD. I am Michael from OTC Online TOEFLcourse.com. All right, so I'm getting ready to listen to your independent speaking practice test, and I have your audio file here. So let's give it a go. Let's see how you did on this.
I agree with the idea that children should receive money for doing household tasks such as cleaning. This is because most of the parents nowadays
I
don't
would
have a lot of time because they work full-time.
instead of this is because you're stuck in a rut. You're using the same kinds of sentence styles over and over and over. How about say in as much as instead of this is because? Why not take that second sentence, turn it into a dependent clause, attach that to the independent clause that precedes it, and show some sentence variety? Create a complex sentence instead of two short, simple sentences. Think about it. Do something different. You're stuck. You're doing the same thing. It's like Groundhog Day. I'm going to McDonald's having a burger and fries every single day over and over and over. You're using exactly the same kind of structure and template over and over and over. It's insanity. Don't do the same thing. Try some different things, something different that can make your speaking a little bit better than what it is, right?
Small changes.
So I want you to think about it, how you're approaching your speaking, how you're organizing everything. Change what you're doing. Let's see what happens, right?
Job. For example, I remember when I was 13 years old, my parents used to work full-time job and they didn't have a lot of time to clean the house.
I would say they used to work full-time jobs.
Therefore, they gave me money to encourage me to clean up the house. Probably if they didn't give me money, I wouldn't do anything in the house such as cleaning. And
No, wait a minute. We got to go back to what you just said there. Let's
uh,
see.
for example, I remember when I was 13 years old, my parents used to work full-time job and they didn't have a lot of time to clean the house. Therefore, they gave me money to encourage me to clean up the house. Probably if they didn't give me money, I wouldn't do anything in the house such as
No, no, that's where you're driving off the cliff in Groundhog Day. Your car's exploding. You can't say it like that. You're trying to talk about a past impossible condition. It's not if they didn't, I would not. It's if they hadn't given me the money, I would not have cleaned up around the house. So in order to use that to get that past impossible condition there, you need to use the past perfect tense in order to convey that past implied reality. That's what you're trying to do. So your verb tense is not good there. So I want you to go to Google. Don't just you need to figure this out. Go to Google and study unreal and real conditions in English grammar, right? And you can see how to do that. So basically, past tense verbs talk about present impossible conditions. If I had time, I would go to the movies, right? So that's more of a present impossible situation. Now, if I said if I had had time, I would have gone to the movies, right? So in that case, I have the past perfect verb tense to talk about past impossible conditions, and that's exactly the kind of thing that's going to keep your speaking from going over the top, from getting the 26 or higher. You cannot have these kinds of language use limitations. Now, you can ignore and not learn what I'm telling you to learn, and you can make the same mistakes over and over, or you can solve this problem once and for all. Learn it. Real, unreal conditions in English grammar. Study that.
cleaning. And the second reason, I think parents, when they give their children money, they will encourage them to be responsible for every penny they
Now, wait a minute. I think you might have repeated your subject unnecessarily.
probably if they didn't give me money, I wouldn't do anything in the house such as cleaning.
So if they hadn't given me the money, I would not
And the
have
second
done.
reason, I think parents, when they give their children money, they will encourage them to be responsible for every penny they use.
Parents say parents when they give their children money, you don't need to say they. That's a double subject. Remember, independent clauses need one subject, not two. So you don't have to put a second subject in
A
there.
very important habit that all parents should teach their children how to do it. And this habit will benefit their children in the future in terms of money spending. I agree with the idea.
In terms of in terms of money, or in terms of how they spend their money, might be a better way to say that at the end there, right? Okay, it's not 26. I hate to tell you, you're still right around that 24 to 26 area. Let's listen to it one
The
more time.
children should receive money for doing household tasks such as cleaning. This is because most of the parents nowadays don't have a lot of time because they work full-time job. For example, I remember when I was 13 years old, my parents used to work full-time job and they didn't have a lot of time to clean the house. Therefore, they gave me money to encourage me to clean up the house. Probably if they didn't give me money, I wouldn't do anything in the house such as cleaning. And the second reason, I think parents, when they give their children money, they will encourage them to be responsible for every penny they use. A very important habit that all parents should teach their children how to do it. And this habit will benefit their children.
Yeah, I like that an important habit, blah, blah, blah. I like how you use that a positive after the independent clause. That's some good syntactic variety there. But it's not going to save you from all the other problems you had. So it's going to make your score, it's not going to be where you want it to be.
In the future in terms of money spending. I agree with the idea.
Even that, in terms of money spending, in terms of money spent, maybe, if you want to use in terms of the money that is spent by either the parents or the children. So I think in that case, you have money spent. A past participle works better because it has passive, not active meaning. Okay, so what do we got here? Let's take a look at the actual, the rubrics don't lie, right? Let's just look at the rubrics. What do the rubrics say? So I think you have some limitations with your language use, especially when you're talking about past and possible conditions. You had an you repeated a subject unnecessarily, I think, in the middle part of your response. You had that problem with that past participle at the end. You should have created the past participle with passive meaning, not the present participle with active meaning. So you had at least 3 language use issues, some minor delivery issues. So you're not giving me reasons. Give me a reason to give you a higher score. That is the question. You're not giving me that. So your score here is going to be around 24 to 26 points out of 30. All right. Keep it up, man. Don't get frustrated. Remember that you enrolled in the boot camp course, which means I got to be tough. And that's what I'm doing, and you know what your problems are. Remember, don't just keep doing speaking practice. Solve the problems. Solve these problems before you do another practice test. Or you just keep doing the same mistakes over and over and over.